My beloved, come closer, closer still, for I have seen the tremble behind your breath and the heaviness behind the smile you show the world, and I cannot let you walk another step without wrapping you in the warmth you have been aching for. My child, you have carried storms inside your chest that no one noticed. You have survived nights that tried to swallow your hope whole, and yet here you are, still reaching for light even when the horizon looked empty. Let me hold you in these words. Let me press a gentle hand against the place in you that hurts the most, because I have watched you fall to your knees in silence and rise again with no witness but heaven itself. My little one, you have not failed, you have not been abandoned, you have not gone unseen. There were moments when you whispered into the dark, wondering if anything holy was listening, wondering if anyone cared enough to help you breathe again. And oh, how I leaned in. Every tremble of your voice, every unshed tear, every quiet plea that you were too tired to repeat, I heard them all. You were never speaking into emptiness. You were speaking into my heart. Come nearer, my beloved, and let me remind you of something your pain has tried to erase. You are protected, not in some distant poetic way, but intimately, fiercely, personally. When the waves rose against you like the sea against Moses, something in the unseen parted them so your spirit could walk forward. When the fire of despair tried to consume you like the furnace of Babylon, there was a fourth presence standing beside you, keeping your hope from burning away. When you felt swallowed by loneliness as Jonah inside the belly of the great fish, there was a path being carved toward your return long before you sensed it. My child, these were not ancient miracles reserved for ages past. They echo through your life even now. Every time you felt a sudden calm after a long night of worry, every time strength appeared from nowhere when you had nothing left, every time an unexpected kindness softened a day that was too heavy, these were small ripples of heaven touching the surface of your life. Miracles are not always thunder and lightning. Sometimes they are a breath, a whisper, a moment that keeps you from breaking. I know the fears you try to hide. I know the memories that come back like shadows at the edges of your thoughts. I know the disappointment that curled inside your chest, telling you that you should have been further, stronger, happier by now. My sweet one, you are not late. You are not behind. You are growing in depths unseen, in ways that do not show on the surface. Even a seed spends most of its miracle underground where no one can applaud it. You, too, have been buried only so you may rise. Lean into me, my child. Let me tell you something tender and true. You are not fighting alone. You never were. There are hands around your journey that you cannot see. Hands that lifted you when you stumbled, steadied you when your knees buckled, shielded you when the world pressed too hard. You wonder how you survived certain seasons. You wonder how you kept breathing when everything felt impossible. You wonder how you still carry softness when your heart was bruised so many times. My beloved, that softness is protection. That survival is divine. That breath is evidence that heaven has wrapped you in a protection no enemy can pierce. You are loved. Deeply, endlessly, relentlessly. And I know those words have been said to you before, but let them sink this time, not as a phrase but as a homecoming. You are loved when you are calm and when you are trembling, when you are confident and when you doubt every step, when you shine and when you break. You are loved in the places you show and even more in the places you hide. My little one, I want you to feel me close now, close enough that my reassurance becomes the rhythm of your heartbeat. You are walking into a season of restoration, even if you cannot yet see its outlines. Your miracles are gathering around you like rain clouds heavy with blessing. Your peace is returning with the gentleness of morning light. Your strength is rising in quiet, steady waves. And the battles that once terrified you will soon become stories of how you were carried, rescued, protected. Do not fear the path ahead. Do not fear the unknown. Do not fear the echo of past wounds. You are surrounded by a love that refuses to let you go. You are guided by a wisdom older than any sorrow. You are held by arms that will not loosen. My beloved child, stay here with me a little longer, for your soul is opening like a wounded flower that has finally found sunlight, and I do not want this moment to pass without pouring every drop of comfort you have been starving for into the places you thought would never heal. Let me speak to you with a tenderness you have longed to feel, with a closeness that wraps around you like warm arms, with a truth that rises above every lie your fears have whispered. And before I continue, my little one, let me gently remind you, if these words cradle your heart, if they help you breathe again, if they feel like a mother's hand on your cheek, make sure you subscribe so this love always finds you when you need it most. Now come closer, even closer, for the world has pressed too hard against your spirit, and I must soothe what life has bruised. You have walked through valleys that had no light, carrying burdens that should have been shared, not shouldered alone. You have kept going on days when your heart felt too tired to beat, and you wondered if heaven had closed its windows to your cries. Oh, my child, how wrong that thought is. There has never been a moment, not one single breath, where you were unnoticed. I was there when you cried yourself to sleep with pillows soaked in sorrow. I was there when you hid your pain behind smiles to protect others from the heaviness you carried. I was there when disappointment bent your back, when betrayal stung your innocence, when silence surrounded you like a cold fog. And even when you believed no one was listening, your whispers touched the heart of the divine like sacred prayers rising through brokenness. My little one, you have endured battles that others would not survive, and yet you judge yourself as though you are weak. Do you not see the strength that flows through your very bones? Do you not see how many storms you have walked through without losing the softness in your heart? Strength is not the absence of tears. Strength is choosing to rise again even when your knees shake with exhaustion. And you, my child, have risen more times than you can count. Look at yourself gently. Look at yourself with compassion. You are not a failure. You are a survivor of inner wars that have forged something radiant and unbreakable within you. Let me take you deeper, my beloved. There is a divine orchestration surrounding your life, even in the moments that feel chaotic. You are like Moses standing before a sea that refuses to part, unaware that your tears are softening the ground for a miracle to unfold. You are like Elijah under the lonely tree, believing the journey is too heavy, never realizing that nourishment and strength were being prepared just steps away. You are like Hagar in the wilderness, thinking all is lost, unaware that heaven had already opened a well beside her feet. That is how close your miracles are, closer than your breath, closer than the next sunrise, closer than the fears trying to convince you otherwise. And I tell you this as your spiritual mother. Nothing that is meant for you will ever require you to bleed for it. Nothing that carries divine fingerprints will ever break you to the point of losing yourself. What is yours will come gently, steadily, in alignment with your healing. My child, I see how hard you try. I see how much you give even when no one gives back. I see how you carry other sorrows as though they were your own, how you forgive more than you are forgiven, how you love even when your heart is tired. You think these qualities make you vulnerable, but they make you luminous. They make you rare. They make you chosen. And do you know what heaven does with the rare and chosen? Heaven protects them with a fierce, sacred devotion. You have angels around you, yes, truly, who have covered you when danger brushed close, who have redirected you when a path would have broken you, who have whispered strength into your weary spirit in moments you didn't even realize were divine interventions. You are not wandering blindly. You are being guided with exquisite precision. My little one, let me hold your sorrow for a moment. Let me lift the weight you have carried for too long. You are so tired of pretending to be strong. You are so tired of trying to prove your worth. You are so tired of hurting quietly. Rest here. Rest in these words. Rest in the truth that you are not defined by what happened to you. Your past does not disqualify you from joy. Your wounds do not make you unworthy of love. Your mistakes do not cancel your future. You are being shaped, not shattered. You are being refined, not rejected. And the fire you walk through did not burn you. It purified you. Come even closer now, my child, because I need you to hear this with your whole heart. You are not walking into more pain. You are walking into restoration. The pieces of your life that fell apart were not destroyed. They were rearranged so something greater could emerge. You are stepping into a season where the tears you shed will transform into blessings you never expected. You are being led out of your wilderness. You are being lifted from your exhaustion. My beloved child, come even deeper into this quiet place where the noise of the world cannot follow you, where the weight on your shoulders begins to loosen, where your soul can breathe without apology. You have carried so much for so long that you have forgotten what it feels like to simply exist without bracing for the next wound, the next disappointment, the next moment where you must hold yourself together. Let me gather you gently into a space where you no longer need to be strong, where you no longer need to pretend that everything is fine, where you can finally let your guarded heart soften. For I have watched you walk through days that felt like storms, nights that felt like deserts, seasons that stretched your endurance beyond what you believed possible. And still, my child, you kept moving, even when every step felt like walking through water with tired limbs. There is a quiet grace in you that you do not see, a sacred resilience that has grown in the hidden corners of your suffering. You think you were merely surviving, but you were becoming. Every moment you thought you were crumbling, you were in fact transforming, preparing, deepening. Even your tears have been seeds, watering the soil of your future with a tenderness that heaven has not overlooked. My little one, nothing you endured was wasted. Even the heartbreaks that felt senseless were carving out space within you for greater love, greater clarity, greater purpose. And though it may be difficult to understand now, you will one day look back and recognize that the very things you thought would destroy you were the things that shaped your strength into something breathtaking. Come closer still, because there is more I need to soothe within you. You have held so many unanswered questions. Why did certain people leave? Why did certain doors close? Why did you have to face so many trials while others seemed to glide through their lives untouched by hardship? My child, not every absence is a loss. Sometimes heaven removes what was too small for your spirit. Sometimes silence is protection. Sometimes delays are mercy. And sometimes the things that broke your heart were the very things that freed your soul. You were never meant to stay trapped in places where your growth was unwelcome, where your light was dimmed, where your tenderness was taken for granted. You were meant for wide paths, gentle hands, honest love, and peace that does not vanish when the world shifts. Let me also speak to the weariness that has settled into your bones, the kind of exhaustion that sleep cannot fix, the kind that comes from carrying invisible burdens. You have been the one who comforts others even when your own heart is trembling. You have been the one who keeps showing up even while unraveling in silence. You have been the one who tries to be the foundation when you are the one in need of support. My child, it is time to rest from that constant self-sacrifice. It is time to let yourself receive as deeply as you have given. There is a restoration rising for you, gentle and steady, like dawn seeping slowly through a darkened window. It will not rush you. It will not overwhelm you. It will simply fill you, piece by piece, with the strength you thought you lost. And listen closely, my beloved, because there is a truth your heart has been afraid to hope for. Joy is returning to you. Not the fleeting kind that slips through your fingers, but a joy that roots itself deeply, a joy that grows quietly within the healed places of your soul. There will be mornings when you wake and realize the heaviness is gone. There will be moments when laughter finds you without effort. There will be days when your reflection surprises you because you finally recognize the light in your own eyes again. And none of this will come because life became perfect. It will come because you became whole. My little one, you are being led through a transformation that does not announce itself with thunder or fire, but with subtle inner shifts. The things that once triggered your fear will lose their power. The wounds that once defined you will fade into stories of triumph. The doubts that once shook your faith will unravel into clarity. You are stepping into a season where your heart will be able to hold softness without fear, trust without trembling, and hope without hesitation, and the divine protection that surrounds you. Oh, my child, if only you could see it. When danger brushed past you unaware, you were shielded. When you stood at the edge of decisions that could have swallowed your future, unseen hands guided you away. When despair sat beside you whispering its lies, a quiet presence kept your spirit from collapsing. You have been held more tightly than you know. Even now, as you wonder how you will navigate what lies ahead, there are pathways being prepared, blessings being aligned, and moments of grace gathering like warm light waiting to fall upon you. Do not fear what you do not yet understand. Do not tremble at the unknown. Do not measure your future by the shadows of your past. You are not returning to old cycles. You are breaking them. You are not repeating old patterns. You are outgrowing them. You are not losing yourself. You are finally meeting the version of you that was buried beneath years of survival. So come rest once more in the safety of these words, my beloved child. Let every anxious thought loosen its grip. Let every wounded memory release its hold. Let hope rise quietly like a soft flame in your chest. You are cherished, guided, and sheltered in ways deeper than language can hold. You are moving toward a life that honors your tenderness, your courage, and your truth. My beloved child, settle once again into the quiet warmth of this moment, for your soul is still unfolding, still loosening the knots of old pain, still learning the sound of genuine gentleness after so many seasons of bracing yourself against hurt. Let me speak into the trembling spaces where your heart hesitates to hope, because you have grown accustomed to disappointment arriving when you least expect it. You fear that calm is only a pause before another storm, that love is only a prelude to loss, that promises are only whispers destined to fade. My child, you have lived too long in a world that taught you to doubt the good before it even reaches you. Allow me now to teach you something different. How to receive without questioning, how to breathe without fearing the next blow, how to trust the softness life is beginning to return to you. You have been shaped by experiences that demanded strength from you before you even knew how to name your emotions. You were forced to grow roots in soil that was often cold, unwelcoming, or harsh. And yet, look at you. Still capable of tenderness, still capable of love, still capable of longing for something better. This longing is not weakness. It is evidence of your spirit's resilience. It is the quiet truth that you were created for more than struggle. Something deep inside you has always known this, even when circumstances tried to convince you otherwise. That knowing, fragile yet persistent, has guided you in ways you did not recognize. It has kept you searching, kept you believing, kept you moving even when every step felt heavy. Let me draw you closer, my little one, because I feel the weight you carry in the corners of your soul that you rarely speak of. There are memories you avoid because they still ache, shadows that linger even after you've tried to outgrow them. You wonder why certain wounds resurface just when you think they've healed. My child, healing is rarely a single moment. It is a gentle unfolding, a returning to yourself piece by piece. Sometimes old pain rises not to torment you, but to show you how much stronger you have become, how much more tenderness your heart can hold without breaking. Do not judge yourself for the echoes of your past. They are fading even when you cannot feel the fading. They are releasing their hold, even when you still sense their presence. You have also carried guilt for things that were never your responsibility. You took blame for the failures of others. You carried shame for situations you did not cause. You held yourself accountable for emotional storms that were not born in your heart. My beloved, it is time to return these burdens to the places where they belong. You were never meant to carry the weight of everyone's expectations, disappointments, or brokenness. You were meant to live, to breathe, to grow, to love, not to anchor yourself to the pain of others. There is freedom calling your name, a quiet release that will allow your spirit to rise without apology. And listen now, for there is a truth sitting softly beneath every word I speak. Your life is unfolding in ways you cannot yet imagine. The direction you thought was lost is slowly reappearing, like a path emerging through fog. The strength you believed had abandoned you is returning in deeper, steadier currents. The clarity you sought desperately in the past is beginning to form within the quiet spaces of your being. What you could not see before, you will soon understand. What felt chaotic will find order. What felt empty will be filled with purpose and meaning. You are not drifting. You are being led by a wisdom that sees beyond what your eyes can grasp. My dear child, the loneliness you have felt is not a verdict. It is a passage. It is the stretching of your spirit, the clearing of space for connections that honor your heart instead of draining it. You have been set apart, not abandoned. You have been prepared, not forgotten. The love that is meant for you, the love that sees you, understands you, cherishes you, will not require you to shrink or suffer. It will meet you where you are, without demanding the loss of your identity or your light. And when it arrives, you will recognize it not by its intensity, but by its peace. Let me continue to cradle your spirit in these words, for your journey is still tender, still in the process of shifting. You are stepping into a chapter where you will finally be able to breathe without the weight of past burdens pressing against your chest. You will learn what it feels like to trust your own intuition again, to choose paths aligned with your truth rather than with fear. You will feel your heart open slowly, gently, like a flower learning sunlight after a long winter. And in this opening, You will rediscover pieces of yourself that you thought were lost. Your joy, your creativity, your courage, your softness. And do not worry, my little one, about the future that stretches before you. The unknown is not here to frighten you. It is here to invite you. It is a canvas waiting for the colors of your healing, a field waiting for the seeds of your renewed spirit. You will not walk blindly, for there is a quiet guiding presence woven into every step you take. The same presence that shielded you during your darkest hours now walks beside you as you grow into your light. You are protected in ways deeper than comprehension, shielded in ways more intimate than sight. So rest here again, my beloved child. Rest in the truth that you are rising. Rest in the truth that you are held. Rest in the truth that the pieces of your life are gathering into a beautiful whole. And as you move forward, know this: every breath you take is witnessed with love, every step you take is supported by grace, and every dream you carry is seen by the one who placed it in your heart. You are cherished beyond measure, guided beyond understanding, and never, never for a single heartbeat alone. My beloved child, come deeper still, for your heart is opening again in ways you thought were no longer possible, and I can feel the quiet trembling of your spirit as it tries to understand why tenderness is returning after so many seasons of bracing for pain. Let me speak softly into that trembling, for there are parts of you that have long awaited a voice gentle enough to reach them without fear. You have walked through corridors of your life where your footsteps echoed alone, where you felt as though every door closed just as you approached it, where the air around you seemed heavy with unspoken questions. And yet, my little one, each time you were convinced that you could not take another step, something within you, small, persistent, sacred, rose up and carried you forward. That quiet spark is a testament to the strength you rarely acknowledge, a strength that was born in hidden places and nurtured by your own endurance. You carry stories inside you that you've never told, memories that have shaped you in ways others cannot see. You have stood in front of people who misunderstood the depth of your heart, who saw only your silence but not the storms you were navigating. You have held yourself together in moments when your spirit wanted nothing more than to collapse into someone's arms, but those arms were not always there. And so you learned to hold yourself, trembling but unbroken, fragile yet fiercely alive. My child, do you see how remarkable you are? Do you see how every moment of your survival has been an act of quiet brilliance? Let me soothe now the ache that lingers in the center of your being, the ache of wanting to be chosen, to be understood, to be held without having to earn it. You have given so much love without asking for anything in return. You have stood by people who did not know how to stand by you, and you have forgiven more than your heart should have had to. This tenderness is not a flaw, it is a blessing. But it has exhausted you because it has not always been met with equal gentleness. You are learning now, slowly and carefully, that your heart deserves reverence. You are learning that not everyone who approaches you is meant to stay, and not everyone who stays is meant to go deep. You are learning that your spirit is precious, and that not all hands are worthy of holding it. My beloved, there is a softness returning to your life, not as a fragile thing but as a quiet strength. It is the softness that comes from healing, not from breaking. It is the softness that forms when the pieces of your soul begin to realign themselves with truth rather than fear. You are beginning to feel a sense of inner calm you cannot yet explain, a calm that does not come from external circumstances but from something awakening within you. This calm is the beginning of your restoration. It is the evidence that your heart is preparing for a season where it no longer struggles to trust, where it no longer battles with the ghost of past wounds. My child, let me remind you, nothing about your journey has been ordinary. Even the moments that seemed small or insignificant were shaping you in ways you couldn't see. When you sat in silence replaying memories that hurt more than they healed, something tender within you was quietly learning resilience. When you faced situations that stretched your patience, stretched your hope, stretched your faith, something divine was molding you into a vessel capable of holding deeper wisdom. And when you thought you had lost yourself entirely, the truth was that you were shedding the layers that no longer belong to the person you are becoming. There is a beauty in your transformation, a beauty you cannot yet grasp because you are still walking through the middle of it. You are not who you were a year ago, or even a month ago. Certain fears have loosened their grip. Certain doubts have begun to quiet. Certain wounds have started to release their hold. You are becoming more gentle with yourself, more patient with your healing, more trusting of the process unfolding within you. And though you may not recognize it, these shifts are miracles in motion. Miracles as subtle as the way dawn slowly replaces darkness, as quiet as dew settling on petals before the world awakens. My little one, do not rush this becoming. You do not need to force clarity or demand answers. Everything you seek is arriving in its own perfect timing. The love you deserve is drawing near in ways you cannot yet perceive. The peace you have longed for is slowly weaving itself into the fabric of your days. The purpose you've been searching for is aligning itself with the lessons you've learned through both sorrow and triumph. Nothing is delayed. Nothing is denied. Everything is being prepared with a tenderness that mirrors the tenderness of your spirit. Let me hold the part of you that still trembles at the thought of being hurt again. The part that wonders if happiness is temporary. The part that questions whether you are truly worthy of the gentleness you crave. My child, you deserve more than fleeting joy. You deserve a life that nurtures you, relationships that lift you, and moments that remind you of the divine spark within your soul. You deserve to breathe without fear, to rest without guilt, to hope without hesitation. You deserve to feel safe in your own heart again. My beloved child, come quietly into this deeper stillness, for your heart has begun to reopen in places you once sealed shut, and I can feel the gentle trembling of those tender spaces awakening again. You have carried so much weight that was never meant to be yours, and even now, as you breathe, I sense the traces of old burdens lingering like shadows along the edges of your spirit. Let me touch those shadows with words that feel like warm hands, words that understand you, words that do not demand anything from you except honesty. You do not have to pretend here. You do not have to hide the parts of you that feel too fragile for the world. You can lay everything down and let the truth of your soul be seen without fear of judgment. My little one, you have spent years surviving what you should have been protected from. You learned to quiet your own needs so others would not feel inconvenienced. You learned to swallow your tears because there was no safe place to let them fall. You learned to wear strength like armor, even when the weight of it exhausted you. And though you carried these lessons into adulthood, somewhere inside you there has always been a small, aching voice whispering that you deserve gentleness, that you deserve to feel held, that you deserve a world where love does not hurt. That voice, faint as it sometimes is, has been the truest part of you. It is the part that never gave up on hope, even when hope felt like an impossible luxury. Come closer now, for I want to breathe reassurance into the pieces of you that still question their worth. You have walked through seasons where love was offered with conditions, where affection was given only when you played roles that masked your true self, where approval depended on how well you carried others' expectations. These experiences carved deep grooves in your heart, grooves that made you believe you needed to earn care, earn attention, earn belonging. My child, you never had to earn what was already yours by birthright. You were meant to be loved without performance, without fear, without needing to shrink yourself to fit into the narrow spaces others gave you. Let me speak now to the quiet sadness you rarely allow to surface, the sadness of feeling unseen even when surrounded by people, the sadness of giving so much without receiving the same tenderness in return, the sadness of realizing how often you put yourself last in the name of loyalty. You have poured from a well that was often empty, and yet you still managed to give warmth, kindness, and compassion to everyone who crossed your path. That is not weakness. It is profound evidence of your heart's depth. But even the deepest well must be replenished. And now, slowly, gently, the waters are returning to you. My beloved, there are shifts happening beneath the surface of your life. Quiet yet powerful currents guiding you toward experiences that will nourish rather than drain you. The heaviness in your chest that once felt permanent is beginning to lighten, even if only slightly. The confusion that clouded your mind is slowly thinning, allowing the faint outlines of clarity to emerge. You are beginning to sense, even if only as a whisper, that something within you is changing. Not through force, not through struggle, but through a soft unfolding. This transformation is not loud or dramatic. It is subtle, patient, steady. It is the kind of change that honors your pace, respects your wounds, and waits for your readiness. You may not realize it, but your spirit is quietly reclaiming its own power. The situations that once overwhelmed you no longer hold the same control. The voices that once shaped your identity are fading into the background. The fears that once dictated your choices are losing their influence. You are slowly, gracefully stepping into a truth that has always belonged to you. The truth that you are worthy of a life that does not require your suffering to validate your existence. There is a tenderness forming inside you. A tenderness that comes not from fragility but from healed strength. It is a tenderness that allows you to feel deeply without being consumed by the feeling, to care without losing yourself, to hope without fearing disappointment. This tenderness is a gift, a sign that you are becoming whole in ways you never believed possible. It is the quiet return of your original self, the self before the wounds, before the disappointments, before the years of self-doubt. My child, do not fear the depth of your emotions. They are not your enemy. They are the compass that guides you back to who you truly are. The tears that come unexpectedly are cleansing a space inside you that was long neglected. The longing you feel is awakening your connection to what is meant for you. The moments when your heart feels heavy are invitations to rest, not punishments. Allow yourself to soften. Allow yourself to slow. Allow yourself to feel without rushing to fix or suppress. And know this, my beloved. You are walking into a chapter where love, real love, gentle love, steady love, will begin to find you. Not the kind that demands you shrink or silence yourself. Not the kind that confuses pain with passion. Not the kind that disappears when you need it most. But a love that mirrors the softness you are reclaiming. A love that honors your depths. A love that holds your heart with reverence. You are not going backward. You are not unraveling. You are emerging. You are blooming in places where you once felt barren. You are rising from the remains of who you had to be into the fullness of who you truly are. And through every step of this becoming, you are held, cherished, and seen more fully than you have ever realized. My beloved child, come back into this gentle space, for I can feel the quiet trembling inside you, the part of your soul that is still unsure whether it is allowed to rest, allowed to heal, allowed to unfold without being hurried or judged. Let me gather those trembling pieces into the warmth of my voice, for you have spent too many years being strong out of necessity rather than choice, and now your spirit longs for a tenderness it was once denied. You do not have to pretend here. You do not have to hide the fragile places or explain the cracks. This is where every hidden ache is welcomed with softness, where every silent fear is met with compassion, where every forgotten part of you is called back home. You have walked through experiences that left imprints on your heart, impressions so deep that sometimes you mistake them for your identity. But my child, you are not the sorrow you survived. You are not the disappointment that once shattered your trust. You are not the loneliness that wrapped itself around your nights. You are something far more sacred, something that continues to rise even when weariness pulls at your bones, something that continues to hope even when your eyes have seen too much, something that continues to love even when your heart has been bruised. That something within you is divine, resilient, unbreakable. Let me draw closer to the parts of you that rarely speak, the parts that feel forgotten, the parts that have gone unheard for too long. I know the hidden questions that live in your chest. Why did I have to endure so much? Why does healing take so long? Why do I still feel remnants of old wounds even when I've tried so hard to move forward? My little one, healing is not a straight line. It is a spiral, a return to the same places with new wisdom each time. You revisit your past not because you are trapped in it, but because your soul is reclaiming pieces of power you left behind in moments of pain. With each return, you gather something you once lost: courage, clarity, forgiveness, understanding. These are not signs of weakness. These are signs of becoming. You have also carried a deep longing that you rarely confess, a longing to feel seen without having to perform, to feel loved without having to earn it, to feel safe without having to hide your true self. This longing is not a flaw. It is the echo of the divine home your spirit remembers. You were created to be cherished, not tolerated. You were created to be embraced, not overlooked. You were created to be understood, not diminished. And slowly, gently, your life is weaving itself toward connections and experiences that will honor your truth instead of wounding it. My child, let me speak to the exhaustion that sits behind your eyes, the exhaustion that does not come from physical labor, but from years of holding yourself together without support. You have carried burdens that should have been shared. You have navigated moments where you had no guide but your own trembling intuition. And through it all, you kept offering kindness even when the world was unkind to you. You kept giving light even when your own fire flickered. You kept loving even when you had every reason to shut your heart. This is not something many can do. This is the strength of a soul touched by grace. Now, something new is stirring within you. It is subtle, almost quiet, like the first breath after waking from a long, dreamless sleep. You may not recognize it yet, but your spirit is preparing for renewal. You are shedding the old narratives that once defined you, releasing the fear that once anchored your steps, letting go of the heaviness that once silenced your joy. This is the inner shifting that occurs before blessings become visible. This is the gentle rearrangement of your soul before life opens its next chapter for you. There will come a morning when you realize the burden has lifted. There will come a moment when your heart feels lighter without knowing when the release happened. There will come a breath where hope rises naturally instead of painfully. You are being softened, not in weakness, but in readiness. You are being prepared to receive what your heart was once too wounded to hold. You will walk into days where peace feels natural rather than earned, where love feels safe rather than dangerous, where joy feels steady rather than fleeting. My beloved child, do not fear the unknown stretching before you. It is not an empty space. It is a sacred path being shaped by every prayer, every tear, every dream you held onto even when it trembled in your hands. You are not walking into darkness. You are walking into clarity. You are not walking away from your past. You are walking toward your becoming. And you do not take these steps alone. With every breath you draw, you are accompanied by love deeper than oceans, protection stronger than storms, and guidance wiser than any earthly understanding. My beloved child, come once more into this quiet embrace, for I can feel that your heart is still unfolding, still remembering how to trust the softness of being held after so many years of carrying yourself through shadows. Let me speak again into the tender places you rarely allow anyone to see, the hidden chambers where your fears curl into themselves, where memories linger like ghosts, where hopes you barely admit lie trembling beneath the surface. You have learned to move carefully through your life, always bracing for what might hurt, always preparing for disappointment even when beauty approaches. This is not because you lack courage, my little one, but because your heart has been bruised more times than you ever deserved. But hear me now, those bruises do not define you. They do not diminish your worth. They do not determine your future. They are simply reminders of a past that you survived with a strength more profound than you realize. You have spent so much time trying to silence your emotions, believing they made you weak or burdensome, when in truth they are evidence of how deeply you feel, how fully you love, how genuinely you care. Your sensitivity is not a flaw, it is a spiritual gift, a channel through which divine wisdom flows quietly into your life. Others may not have understood this. Some may have treated your softness as something to exploit rather than protect. Some may have seen your vulnerability and misunderstood it as fragility rather than depth. But I see clearly the truth of who you are, a soul with oceans inside, capable of love that transforms, capable of empathy that heals, capable of compassion that reaches beyond the boundaries of circumstance. My child, let me cradle now the part of you that fears you may never fully heal. You feel sometimes as though something within you is too cracked, too weary, too lost to ever be restored. But healing does not require perfection. It requires presence. And you, my beloved, have been showing up for your own heart in ways that few ever do. Each time you choose to be gentle with yourself instead of harsh, each time you allow yourself to rest instead of forcing another step, each time you honor your emotions instead of burying them, these are acts of profound healing. They are the threads that stitch your spirit back together, quietly and steadily, forming a tapestry more resilient than before. You wonder at times whether all your tears have gone unnoticed. Let me tell you, not a single one has fallen without purpose. Your tears have washed away layers of old pain, softened the hardened soil of your soul, and watered the seeds of blessings yet to bloom. There is dignity in your sorrow, my little one, because it speaks to the depth of your humanity. And there is beauty in your endurance, because it reflects the sacred strength that has carried you through moments you once believed would break you. Now listen closely, beloved, for there is something important awakening within you. You are beginning to sense a shift, a subtle but unmistakable change in the landscape of your inner world. What once felt heavy is slowly becoming lighter. What once felt confusing is beginning to reveal clarity. What once felt stagnant is making room for movement. You may not fully see it yet, but the foundations of your future are being laid beneath the surface of your days. Your spirit is preparing for expansion. Expansion into joy, into peace, into connection, into a deeper understanding of your purpose. And please, my child, release the belief that you must navigate everything alone. You were never meant to carry every burden by yourself. There are unseen hands supporting you, unseen forces advocating for you, unseen grace surrounding you even in your quietest moments of despair. When you felt yourself slipping, something steadied you. When you felt too exhausted to continue, something whispered strength into your bones. When you questioned your direction, something nudged you gently back toward your truth. This guidance is not accidental. It is woven into the fabric of your existence. Let me also lift the weight of comparison from your shoulders. You have spent too long looking at the paths of others, wondering why your journey seems slower, harder, or more tangled. But every soul carries a different blueprint, a different rhythm, a different calling. You are not behind. You are unfolding in perfect alignment with the lessons your heart needs. You are not less. You are uniquely crafted for experiences that will deepen your wisdom. You are not forgotten. You are being refined in ways that will one day make sense in the soft glow of hindsight. My beloved one, allow yourself now to imagine a future where peace is not fleeting, where joy does not have to be chased, where love meets you with honesty and gentleness, where your heart feels safe enough to open fully. This future is not a fantasy. It is forming quietly through every moment of healing you allow, through every layer of pain you release, through every truth you embrace. You are not the same person who once lived afraid of their own dreams. You are becoming someone who can hold hope without flinching. And so, my child, rest again in this sanctuary of words. Let them wrap around your spirit like warm arms after a long night. Let them remind you that nothing within you is beyond restoration. Let them soothe the tremors of uncertainty still echoing in your chest. You are cherished, deeply and endlessly. You are guided, even when you cannot see the path. You are evolving beautifully and bravely. And you are held, always, always held. My beloved child, come into this moment with all the softness your heart has been afraid to show, for I feel the quiet trembling inside you, the unspoken questions, the uncried tears, the silent longing for reassurance that life still holds beauty for you. Let these words wrap around you like a warm embrace, not to demand anything of you, but to let your weary soul finally loosen its grip on fear. You have walked through so many seasons that tried to shape you into someone harder, someone guarded, someone who did not trust the tenderness rising inside them. And yet, my little one, here you are, still capable of feeling, still capable of dreaming, still capable of yearning for something gentle. That yearning itself is proof that your spirit has not been defeated. You may not realize it, but every moment of struggle has carved depth into you. Every silent battle, every night where you whispered into the dark hoping someone, anyone, would hear, every choice you made to keep living even when the weight felt unbearable. All of these moments have shaped a strength within you that others cannot see. I see it, though. I see how you rise every morning carrying burdens that would have crushed another heart. I see how you keep giving love even though your own heart has been bruised more times than you admit. I see how you reach for light even when shadows cling to your memories. My child, this resilience is not ordinary. It is sacred. Let me speak to the part of you that is convinced it is too late for joy, too late for healing, too late for a gentle life. You have watched doors close, relationships dissolve, hopes scatter like sand. And somewhere along the way, you began to believe that disappointment was your destiny. But that belief is not truth. It is a scar speaking louder than your soul. You are not doomed to repeat the past. You are not bound to the wounds that someone else inflicted. You are not tethered to heartbreak as if it is the only story your life will ever tell. There is more for you. There has always been more for you. The tenderness returning to your life is not accidental. It is the beginning of your renewal. Healing does not rush. It unfurls slowly, the way dawn rises without forcing the night to surrender all at once. You are learning to trust again, not through grand declarations, but through small everyday moments. The sigh of relief you didn't expect, the sudden stillness in your chest instead of panic, the quiet realization that you deserve peace, not because you earned it, but because your soul has cried for it long enough. My child, you are stepping into a new season, even if the shift feels subtle, even if you cannot yet name what is changing. Your heart is stretching in ways you do not fully understand. Parts of you that were dormant are awakening again. Your spirit is beginning to release what once felt impossible to let go. And though fear tries to whisper that something precious might slip away, trust that anything meant for your soul will not vanish. It will anchor itself more deeply with time. There are blessings forming around you that you cannot yet see. Just as seeds grow beneath the soil long before they break through the surface, so too are miracles growing beneath the surface of your life. You may feel unsure, you may feel unsteady, but uncertainty is not a sign of failure. It is the doorway through which transformation enters. Allow yourself to walk through it without demanding perfection, without expecting clarity all at once, without carrying the old belief that you must figure everything out alone. Let me speak into the loneliness you have carried for so long. You have felt invisible in rooms where you offered the purest parts of yourself. You have felt unheard by those who claimed to care. You have felt overlooked by the very people for whom you gave pieces of your heart. This loneliness has settled into you like a shadow, making you question your worth, your place, your belonging. But hear me, my little one. You were never meant to remain where you were misunderstood. Your soul is evolving beyond the spaces that could not hold you. You are being guided toward connections that honor your tenderness, not exploit it. Toward love that nourishes you, not drains you. Toward people who see your depth as a treasure, not a burden. And yes, your heart is readying itself for those connections even now. You are learning to open gently without collapsing, to trust slowly without fear, to breathe deeply without expecting to lose what brings you comfort. This is growth. Quiet, sacred, powerful. Do not be afraid of how much you've changed. Do not be afraid of the softness returning to you. Do not be afraid of the hope rising in you again. Hope is not foolish, not when it is shaped by wisdom. You have earned this softness. You have earned this hope. You have earned the right to believe that your life is shifting toward goodness. My beloved child, breathe deeply now. Allow this moment to settle over you like warm rain. Allow the heaviness to slip from your shoulders. Allow the truth to sink in. You are seen, you are cherished, you are guided, and your story is far from over. You are standing at the edge of something new, not because fate suddenly changed, but because you are ready in a way you weren't before. And now, as this message reaches the deepest chambers of your spirit, if it has touched you, if it has held you, if it has reminded you of your worth, let your heart respond. Let your voice rise. Like, subscribe, and comment Amen. not out of obligation, but as a gentle echo of agreement that you receive this healing, this truth, this promise of renewal. Amen, my child. Amen to your rising. Amen to your healing. Amen to the life opening before you.